Tough customer there in Uday, who comes in at 9 points, 9 rebounds a game. Miami is 3-0 out of the gate. The Gators have had a couple of really tough tests. They are 2-1. Miami wins the opening tip. We're underway in Jacksonville.
People at home, if you're asking why I'm in a turtleneck, it is freezing in here in Florida.
That was question number 1. Why is Jay Will in a turtleneck? Well, we've got ice under this floor, and a quick whistle and a foul in the opening seconds to go against the Gators. And a look at the Miami starting 5, brought to you by Geico. And for the Canes, Donaldson will look to push the ball. Renew is getting 21 per game so far. Uday, 6'11", he is the rim protector. Donaldson will drop it off. Renew to make his first move. Trying to get inside, hooked it up, and misfired in close.
You're going to see Miami try to do a lot more in the perimeter. Since Florida has the size advantage, they're going to try to drag those bigs out, forced to create gaps and kick out the threes.
Florida with their starting 5, and a quick turnover here. Washington on the attack will lay it in. Drew Washington, the 6'4" junior out of Phoenix, one of the many new faces for Miami. Again, not a single player back from last year. And a whistle and another foul. Go back to that theft and the bucket.
One of the reasons Jay Lucas loves Drew is his ability to make reads defensively, very active, and has a great instinct for where passes are. He watches your eyes, and if you give away where your passes are, he has that elite first step to get to the ball.
Uday picked up the personal. Up top for Lee, who's been very chilly beyond the 3. Flan will let fly and can't hit that. Big rebound by Houck. He beat everybody. And the first long-range shot will go down by Condon. And this is an area Florida's really struggled with, this three-point shooting early. Struggle doesn't really cut it, Jay. 19 for 90 beyond the three-point line.
They have plus 36 in the offensive glass, and that's where their bread gets butter. Can't give them second chance opportunities.
Back out high for Renew, off the back of the iron, but a whistle in the rebounding fray.
That's 2 on Condon.
That'll be 2 on Condon. So the big fellow, the 6'11" junior from Australia, is going to come out right away. And locked in, the 7'1" senior will come in for him.
Think about that, OB. You replace a guy who's 6'11" with a guy who's 7'1". That, once again, just goes to show you the depth that Florida has in their front court.
Renew slamming on the brakes, trying to get inside. Condon did a great job staying home. Deflected that, and it'll stay on this end.
One of the things Florida talked a lot about today in scouting report is that Renew wants to come back to his left hand, having to bring the ball to his left hand. Great job by Houck, just staying disciplined and staying vertical.
So Miami looking inbound from the baseline. Batted away. Tight defense by the Florida Gators as Chinelo got his hand on it. Houck into the paint to kick it back outside. Chinelo at 6'10". Trying to back in on Uday. Picked up a quick foul, and he'll drop in 2.
Gotta love the presence of Chinelo to take his time, walk down to the block. They cleared out a side. You want to be able to attack the bigs of Miami. They do not have the depth. They only go about 3 bigs deep.
In transition, how to attack, going all the way through, and will lay it in. Now Thomas Houck coming in, averaging 20 points and 8 rebounds a game. He had 27 in the loss to Arizona. See him moving up and down the floor. He's given the Gators a 5-point advantage. Uday up top, Washington.
Got to shoot that mid-range.
Drive inside, gave that away, did not shoot it, now on the deck. And another scrap for that. And locked it getting down, the 7'1" senior, and a tie up there. Possession arrow will take it to the other end.
And look at the defense to offense. Look how Houck gets down the court here. 2 dribbles, 1, 2, and he's at the rim. I mean, a guy that covers ground like that, he's not this player, but Giannis covers ground like that. Explosive dribbles, long wingspans, taking 2 dribbles to cover almost the entire length of the court. Special.
Florida forcing 3 consecutive Miami turnovers. The Hurricanes, no stumbles with wins over Jacksonville, Bethune-Cookman, and Stetson, but they're up against a different level opponent tonight.
With that front court, if Malik Renew gets the ball at the free throw line or the elbow extended and nobody's there, take the mid-range jumper. It's open. They're giving it to you. Great hands.
And slapped out of play off Florida on the deflection. So Miami picking up the energy defensively for their first-year head coach Jay Lucas, who spent 4 years on the bench at Duke as an assistant. And now his first head coaching gig, by chance, will not be facing the Duke Blue Devils this year. It's one team they're not going to see in their schedule in the ACC, just a fluke with the 18-game schedule. Good ball movement downstairs. The hook shot won't go by Renew, however.
Everybody for Florida has active hands, and they are being physical.
He flips it out for Flan. He will slice inside for 2. And a timeout, Miami.
Last year's team was a completely different team. Walter Clayton Jr., you talk about Will Richard, who is starting for the Golden State Warriors right now. Elijah Martin, they were talented, they were experienced. This is a completely new team who's in pursuit of their first championship. And that's how you should look at it. So, offseason, everybody wants to talk about what everybody did last year. Let all that stuff go out the window. This year is a new team.
Henderson going in strong, came up empty. Lee can't corral it. It'll roll out off him and back over to Miami it goes.
Did I sound like an old man? I just felt like I had an old man moment.
A little bit, you're getting it.
Okay.
I mean, what do you know?
I'm on the fringe. Let's not say that out loud.
You look like you're about 22.
I'll take thank you. Can we lead with that next time?
Yes. Donaldson.
Tough shot.
Yes, and banks it in for 2. Trey Donaldson coming in, averaging 16 a game for Miami.
He's so good at changing speed. Something you watched him do it at Auburn. Something you watched him do at Michigan. He is a clutch player for this team. He's going to have to get going offensively for Miami.
Now Florida getting a little sloppy.
And this is an NBA shot here. Going back on the re-screen, waits for the big to show, changes speed, bumps him, but it's a high floater with a soft touch off the top of the glass.
Started all 37 games at Michigan last year. Tough leaner going to be banked in for 2 by Renew. He had been cold from the floor to start, but it's on the board, the 6'9" senior, and 22 in their last game against Stetson. Miami needed some offensive life, and a whistle off the ball. 15-12 to go. First half, Shelton Henderson, the Hurricanes, with a foul. He followed Lucas from Duke, where he had committed, and came to Coral Gables.
And what, Jay really not missing a beat, leaving Duke before the ACC tournament got started so he can get situated here, organizing, constructing his staff, and also the advantage of jumping into the portal. OB can make the case that he was actually late to the portal considering decisions have already been made.
A terrific play by Donaldson to tip it to himself, and the feed for the slam by Henderson, and that was all Trey Donaldson.
Experienced backcourt player who was active defensively and engaged in this game right from the beginning.
Took a look from three-point land. They shut him down initially. Isaiah Brown into the fray. Gets it into the corner and swished in by Klavjar, the 6'1" junior from Slovenia. Florida starting to hit some threes. They're 2 out of 3. We talked about how dreadful they've been the first 3 games. Renew the bump. Goes in strong for 2.
Once again, Miami trying to do a lot more by bringing those bigs on the perimeter and making them engage in pick and rolls.
Miami forcing another turnover, although another errant pass by the Gators. And Miami, after the timeout, is pulled to within 2, and they have an opportunity to take the lead. Gators last year 36-4, magical run to the national title, and now looking to repeat. Billy Donovan did it in Florida.
And pretty much brought back the entire same unit for the following year.
Marcus Allen into the game at 6'7", a sophomore for Miami. Donaldson on Flan. That ought to be a very entertaining duel tonight. That one's going to be knocked down by Donaldson. And Miami jumps in front by 1. So that timeout did them a world of good. 5 straight makes.
I tell you, Donaldson is everywhere on the court. Even from the back row perspective, extremely active, communicating, just active hands.
Boy, there's Donaldson again, another theft. Henderson blocked out of the sky by Brown. Great recovery by Isaiah Brown, the Orlando sophomore. A terrific defensive play.
Well, got away with the push-off right there. Should have been an offensive foul, but Brown coming in from the backside. A LeBron James-like block.
Now Condon back on the floor for the Gators. And pressuring the basketball on the inbounds. They do get it in. Can be slapped away by Condon. Reigning national champs have been in a couple of dog fights already. They lost Arizona by 6 in the opener. And also survived rival Florida State on Wednesday by 2 points, 78-76. Allen with a little fall away. Can't hit it. Florida 6 turnovers in the early going. And that's going to be a blocking foul with 13:09 to go in the first half here in Jacksonville.
Oh, Trey Donaldson has been doing it. A lot of people think about guards as just scorers, but right there, look at that screen on Houck. That's how a guard is supposed to screen a big. You actually hit him square on, allowing Renew to come to the rim and attack it after adjust. And then I said he's so good at changing speeds, adjusting speeds off ball screens, letting the big dive back down towards the paint, and utilizing that free couple of seconds to take a wide open jumper has been incredible off the top for Trey Donaldson.
Chinyelu at the line, just a 58% career foul shooter, but hauled in 16 rebounds against Florida State this week.
Miami missing an opportunity to take a charge on Chinyelu when he came down. That's what you want. You want their bigs making decisions with the basketball up high.
Dante Allen on the dribble. Pass tipped out of play by Marcus Allen, the Missouri transfer. Gave that one away. The Gators by 1. Of course, Miami last year tumbled to 7-24, 3-17 in the ACC. Jim Larrañaga resigning at midseason in a tumultuous campaign that saw a once proud program really bottom out. Klabjar from way downtown, and a whistle on the play. He's going to go to the line. He's going to be shooting 3. Urban Klabjar, the junior. Florida thinks he is going to be an outstanding shooter. Allen picked up his second personal foul. So far, just 3 for 17 from three-point territory. This is coming into the game tonight. But, you know, a year ago, it's exactly how Florida started out as well. Really bad beyond the three-point line. When the season ended, nobody cared about the first handful of games. Todd Golden thinks his team is going to shoot it considerably better.
Well, shooting 21% from the three-point line, and they've had wide open looks. Xavier Lee, a guy who has a great shot. You could tell by the rotation. He's going to become more comfortable. I thought Boogie Flan looked extremely comfortable in the second half of their game against Florida State, where he found his rhythm offensively. Didn't seem to be thinking as much. You're not really worried about that over a long period of time. It's more about defensively, can they remain consistent and can they continue to dominate the offensive glass?
The coach has to have confidence. Eventually, these guys are going to make their shots.
Exactly. But also, I think the leadership perspective will be, you know, last year your guards did a lot of the leading. Now the leading needs to come from your bigs, and that starts with communication, considering their experience.
Renew on the spin, trying to make a move, can't. Sealed off by Chinyelu. In the corner now, he'll launch a long one and buries it, a three-pointer. Well, he's come alive offensively. Washington going for the theft. He knocks it out of play, but Miami really active defensively.
Well, once again, off a ball screen, great recognition by Allen. Chinyelu gets into that to stop the ball. Renew spaces the court, able to knock down the shot. They're going to get a huge dosage of that. He just has to be ready to shoot the ball.
7 points. Yep, carry. And a violation will go the other way. So we have a timeout on the floor. This one a tight one in the rivalry between Florida and Miami.
Donovan's communication style. And plus, his father coached in the NBA for 6 seasons. His brother is the assistant coach with the Las Vegas team that just won a world championship in the WNBA. The basketball lineage runs deep.
Boy, does it. I don't think it gets any deeper than that.
There goes John.
And here tonight.
I lived with John for 3 months too long. 3 months too long, Obi.
Whistle here. 11:39 to go, and another turnover. But now when you say too long, what does that mean?
It was a turnover for me. I mean, it was when I was coming back from recovery. I lived with John Lucas and Jay Lucas for 3 months in their house in Houston, and literally woke up every day at 6 a.m. the pots and pans being banged by John. And we literally got after on the track and in the gym every single day. And that was when Jay was in high school. So time has flown by, but the way they prepare for the game is uniquely special.
The tip out by Hauk, and right back to the Gators. Here's Condon on the move. Been back in the game several minutes with some foul trouble. Trying to get involved, coming in at 16 points, 8 rebounds a game. Florida 8 turnovers to 6 field goal makes. At the 11-minute mark on the back down, Chinyelu hooks it up. He got the shot he wanted, but he couldn't hit it.
I don't think that's the shot he wanted. He had the shot right over the right shoulder that could have been right at the rim. He took a fadeaway hook. That wasn't the shot, actually. Good pass.
Last Florida field goal, 18:58. That'll be knocked down. Miami has kept on coming here, and they lead it by 1.
I know Florida does a lot with Condon on the perimeter, but you would love to see Condon get going down low on the block and making it a priority to give him the ball. He has more turnovers than assists.
Up high now, can't drain that from three-point land. Miami up by a point. Washington to the paint. Went for the contact, missed it. Condon fighting for the rebound, and a whistle here. And Washington will pick up the foul. The junior with the personal.
Talk about Malik Renew off the ball screen. Just attacking that gap and staying strong. Everybody was yelling a travel in the building. I saw no travel there. I saw exquisite footwork.
So 10:13 to go in the half, and the Gators with it. Condon taking a seat. Out. Nice pass. And another miss in close. Up and in that time by Chinyelu. Right on top of the rim to put the Gators on top by a point.
That's the advantage to having Hauk on the floor. When you see an array of different defenses, Miami trying to throw a little pressure in the front court, Hauk is a guy that can break that if you're able to find him around half court and create plays not only for himself but for others.
Washington bouncing downstairs. Very tough pass. They're trying to get inside, and again shut down by the Gators. Out will feed Lee. Bland will back outside. Bland gets an open look and drain it. Fight for the rebound. Still on the deck. Gators come away. The dipsy do-long drop for Hauk, and it'll be Miami ball.
Jay Lucas yelling at his team. The guards need to come back and gang rebound. So important to keep Florida off of the offensive glass.
So Miami an opportunity to get back in front. They were in trouble early. Lucas got a timeout. They rallied quickly.
Wow, what a screen. What a screen.
Whistle with 8:57 to go. The foul will go on Ann Lockton, the 7-1 senior.
I mean, this is big boy basketball here. Watch this screen by Uday Jr. You talk about a screen. Big's not communicating. Literally knocked the block off Hauk's head. And that's where the bigs need to be better. Ann Lockton has to be out there communicating where that screen's coming from. Something we talked a lot to Todd Golden about earlier today. The bigs communicating as the front line of that defense.
Henderson at the line, knocks in that one, 64% at the stripe for the freshman. 5-star recruit from the same high school in Texas that produced his head coach. Bel Air High. And a rebound by Houck, who's pulling down 8 a game. Florida's just killing people on the glass so far in these first 4 games. Nearly give it away. A scrap at midcourt. Houck again off the dribble. No. Tipped away. Miami forcing a turnover. On the run, Washington. Great defense by Flan to get back. And Duke at 9. And in between, the latest college football playoff top 25 rankings revealed as well.
You get a chance to see 2 potential of the top 4 picks in the NBA draft, and Cameron Boozer and Darren Peterson play for both respective Duke and Kansas. It's going to be a big night.
Condon knocking one from way downtown to make it 22-19 Florida. The stop up, and Henderson will draw the foul.
Will be once again for Condon. I know he has the ability to take threes, but a lot of his shots have been from the perimeter. And he's had 2 quick fouls. You just want to see him become more comfortable playing down low on the block and really leveraging the size and the frame he has, being the biggest player on the court.
And Lockton picks up his second foul. And the freshman off the mark. So Condon and Lockton each with 2 fouls for Todd Golden's team. And Henderson with number 2. And that one's in and out. And another whistle with 8 minutes to go in the half. So that'll go against Altuntas.
9 points in the first 12 minutes of the ball game.
Well, his mom certainly had her hands full.
Look at that smile.
Oh, that's a great smile.
Great smile.
You knew he had big thoughts of being a big star. Playing that way tonight. Came in averaging 21 and 6 in the first 3 games from Miami. Condon. Shot clock down to 11. Way downtown lead, but can't connect. Condon tipping it around, but tipped it right to Miami. And the Canes will have it.
Florida is so active on the offensive glass. You think about the wingspans of Condon and Houck and Hanlogden. Everybody's a 6'10" or longer wingspan, but they're active and they tip balls up. They keep those 50-50 balls in the air. And no doubt they're one of the most special teams in the country at gaining abilities on offensive boards.
In the paint, Henderson got airborne and tossed it away. So back over to the Gators. This has been a physical game.
I'm here for it, Obi. I mean, look, you have 2 teams that almost mirror each other style-wise. And the thing you love about it, in order to get their bigs open, you actually have to hit people on screens. Once again, a great finish by Condon.
Took the contact, banked it in anyway. They're letting him play. He has 8. 3 for 4 from the field. The Gators by 5. Donaldson trying to make a move, and Little Iron drops it in.
Boogie Flan, a guy that can get it going offensively. But Miami's going to try to target him defensively and make him defend. Donaldson knows it, and he smells blood in the water.
We'll get a transfer from Arkansas for a reported $2 million NIL deal. Over the top, that won't drop, but a foul. Trying to get Houck airborne. He takes the hit. And a foul will go against Shelton Henderson, his second. So that will put Houck at the line. He's 72%. Last year's 6th man for the national championship Florida Gators.
Obi, we really got to do something to fix these rules, and I know it's a matter of time, but players jumping in the portal each and every year, demanding more money. I'm all about players getting more money. We just need better guardrails, and that's where you'd rather see 2 to 3 year contracts. You know, you can inflate the contracts based upon production, but locking players in for a certain period of time, and if they want to have buyouts, you know, that's what the English Premier League does. Have another team buy them out and absorb that contract. That's what we need to get to.
Don't we want to see players around a little longer?
Yes.
Than just one and done and on to the next school and on to the next school. I'm with you too. I want to see players get their fair share, certainly, but you love to be able to root for a guy more than just for 5 minutes. Little fall away, that won't drop for Renew. Miami trying to keep it alive, but can't. Back over to Florida.
Well, the problem is accountability. You know, and some of the best coaches know how to do this. I talk to Seth Greenberg about this all the time. You have to be able to coach young people hard. And, you know, some people don't like to be coached hard, and when they face adversity, they want to go somewhere else where it's easier. And you can say that not every player is for every program, but, you know, it's a bad lesson to teach young people not to fight through adversity.
In transition, here come the Canes now. Miami trailing by 3. Start pass Renew. Washington trying to take that baseline.
Clear out, post work. Clear out, take your time.
They're working on the shorter Lee. Spin Washington gives it away. Land in transition. Got a nice follow there for 2.
Talked about gang rebounding for Miami. Renew did a great job getting back in transition. But if you're not all trying to go up for that offensive rebound, that is what Florida does.
Condon with another second chance. Allen back out high. Washington can't drain it. Rebound comes out right back to Allen. He's not going to wait. He can't stick it. Another battle for the rebound. And a tie-up. We'll keep it right here on this end of the floor with the Gators up by 5.
I watch Condon here as he goes from defense to offense, staying active, getting the block, running the floor, kicking the ball ahead. It's what you love, how it does attacks. Nobody's boxing out Condon. You got to box him out in transition, but just has a great knack for following the basketball.
Preseason AP All-American, the junior from Perth, Australia. So it'll be Miami ball on the baseline. Under 5 minutes to go before the break in Jacksonville. Donaldson lets fly. He had a wide open look, could not hit it. Condon, another touch.
There you go.
Working on Renew.
That's what's good. Great defense.
Sure was. Renew sticking right with him. Washington again with a bounce feed. They're eyeing Renew every time down. He can't finish that one though. Rebound comes right back to Miami. Renew in there, fighting, flips it up and in. What a tough shot.
He is fighting through it right now. You see it looks a little winded. But still finding a great job to carve out some space. How about that?
Chinyelu, it just opened up for him. He kept on going for massive stuff.
There's a go-go gadget arm.
28-23 Florida. Through Washington out of Phoenix, Arizona. Here's Donaldson. A little too much contact that time. They're letting him play with a lot of contact, not quite that much, and a foul on Chinyelu will be his first.
Well, Renew working to carve out space. He may not be the tallest player on the court, but he sure knows how to carve out space and find angles of attack. And then Chinyelu, look at that extension. We got a ball game. That the trio of guards accounted for 54% of the scoring for Florida last year. You go from a 3-guard lineup to a 3-big lineup, and you think about Xavier Lee and Boogie Flan, they only have 2 points in the first half. So that point production is a huge opportunity for other players to step up. But who's going to do that consistently is a question for Todd Bowles.
Double fake there by Donaldson. It won't drop in for him. They're just trying to expand on a 28-23 lead here in Jacksonville, Florida tonight. Gators coming in ranked number 10. Started the season number 3. Lost that game immediately to Arizona. The launch by Hawk. He'll swish that one in from way downtown. He is 4 for 9. Mentioned what a great start he's off to this season. And can shoot it. Hit 27 against Arizona. He was 7 for 13 from the field against Arizona.
You could tell getting more confidence in that shot. There was no hesitation or lag time when he found himself open. There you go.
Allison on the bounce. And a whistle, 2:40 left in the half.
We're going to see about that. You got to love Renew attacking the opposing bigs.
And logged in with number 3. His third foul.
I don't know. I mean, the level of physicality has been high all game long. Looked like Hanlon went up vertical to me. And that's still where I like seeing Renew take that aggressiveness to keep them in foul trouble, but that little mid-pocket, mid-range shot is going to be there all day long.
Took the brunt of that, took a shot on the head. So he will step aside with the 3 fouls. Renew at the line, where he's 85% so far this season, but misses on that one. And Friday night, ESPN features the top scorer in women's college basketball. Don't miss. Hannah Hidalgo, number 18 Notre Dame, hosting number 8 USC at 6 Eastern. And Renew hits the second. Miami 2 for 6 at the line. Down across to Boogie Flan. Boogie flirting with the NBA draft before electing to come to Florida.
Miami going to his zone.
Shot clock down to 5 and a foul. Got it to Condon, got it to the right man in the paint, and he'll be at the line for a 3-point play.
Well, it was great composure on Condon's part. He lost that ball here, but you like the fact that it came to a jump stop. Good job flashing, jump stop, loses the ball, but finds it mid-stride in the air and is able to finish it for a strong and one.
On Henderson, his third. So he has to depart, heading to the Miami sideline, with Condon looking to make a 3-point play, 74% at the line. And so far 12 points, 5 rebounds. And another whistle will go the other way. And a foul against the Gators. That'll go on Chinulu. His second.
They are grown men down in these trenches.
Yeah, there are.
Bodies just colliding every possession.
It's been since minute 1. So to the other end we go. And Ernest Ude, the 6'11" senior, to shoot. Transferred from TCU. Before that, he was at Kansas. Freshman there. He had a big hand in a Kansas win over Duke. And that was with Jay Lucas on the Duke sideline. Got an up-close and personal look at how good he can be, particularly defensively with his shot-blocking ability. And he brings him to Miami.
Extremely physical interior defender, former McDonald's All-American, just very active down low on the block.
So we come up on 2 minutes to go in the first half, and Flan with the foul. His first.
It's great recognition by True Washington. I said it earlier, people are going to attack Boogie Flan. You see multiple times when he's on the perimeter, they'll try to put 2 hands on you. Sliding those feet east to west is going to be pivotal for him, and also staying out of foul trouble throughout the course of the season, considering the lack of ball handlers Florida has.
Washington at the line. Missed that one. Take it away. Yeah, Washington. Quick hands on Flan, who defends him. And that's going to go the other way.
That's where you just want to see True Washington. Instead of trying to create and initiate the contact, just take it. Just be aggressive and attack. He throws his body out there trying to absorb it, instead of just focusing on trying to finish for an and one.
Simply lost it.
Oh, he has great hands. Look out, he is a hawk defensively.
Bland on the attack.
Good pass.
Condon behind him. Can't finish it. So Miami trying to take advantage of missing close. It's Reneau. In and out. Big rebound by Chigalo. Then he had 16 against Florida State. Condon to his left and one. Boy, set him up, took the hit, and he's headed to the line to try for a three-point play.
And once again, Alex Condon can do it in a variety of ways, but having him down low on the block, look at the footwork right there. The reverse pivot for the finish with the left hand. That's the footwork and dexterity of somebody that's preseason All-American.
You talked about how skilled this front court is for Florida and will need to be with the backcourt that they lost to the NBA. Condon 74%. And a three-point effort.
And it'll be with his size and his frame, he should be getting anywhere between 10 to 12 free throw attempts per game.
So a 10-2 run in the last 3 minutes here for the Gators. Reneau has been the focus and will drop in 2 more for Miami. He's been the biggest reason to be able to hang in there tonight.
And Trey Donaldson's been doing a great job of dragging that big with him off those PNRs. And Reneau has been able to find those little midi shots to take.
Donaldson, a terrific stop. It looked like Bland had blown right by everybody. Washington spins it up. That won't drop. Knocked out of play. It'll stay right here with 40 seconds to go in the half. Todd Golden will go back to his bench and bring on Isaiah Brown, the 6'4 sophomore. And Jay Lucas counters with Dante Allen, 6'4 freshman. And Condon to the bench. Picked up a couple of quick fouls, but he really came to life. Donaldson.
Yeah, give it to him on the block. That's a mismatch. Give it to him. Give it to him.
Calling for it.
Oh, you missed it now. A good pass.
Great feed underneath for the slam by Uday.
Great job by Donaldson recognizing the switch there. Florida trying to adjust. There was smaller player. You make a couple of chippies, you're still in this ball game. You're still in it now. And imagine you're going to try to get something to Hawk going down the hill, attacking the rim. Him or Condon.
In the midcourt, Allen harassing him. Here's Condon. 8 seconds left in the half. Condon back outside. And Hawk knocks it down. Another triple. Here's the heave, and that won't drop. So at the break, 10 times, although some of those just sloppy turnovers by the Gators early on.
Also only 11 points off those 10 turnovers, and you feel like that should be doubled. And if this Miami team is struggling to score offensively, then they need to create points off their defense.
A quick turnover here as Miami comes away with it. And here's Trey Donaldson going up high off that bank shot. That won't drop, and a rebound torn down by Condon.
Trey slapping his hands there on that one. Thought he could just pull up for a great midi. Haven't seen too many midi jump shots in this ball game, but it's something that's going to continue to develop and be more and more open for Miami.
Condon thought about it, puts it to the deck. Lee, the guard, will launch. He's just been stone cold this season from three-point land. Transfer from Princeton. And a quick move inside by Donaldson. Can't convert it. And here come the Gators again. Bland can't hit. Walk up high and a miss. Donaldson with a quick what a beautiful pass indeed, and converted by Henderson.
And the reason why I keep talking about Miami utilizing the mid-range jumper is from somebody who has lived experience. There's only so many times you can go on with those threes.
Spins out by Hawk. Lee went up to the rebound, and he draws the foul.
Especially when you're trying to finish over the top as a smaller player of guys like Condon and Howe, instead of just pulling up for the mid-range jump shot. But this is the type of vision that you want from Trey Donaldson. Great job by running the court, and a great find by Donaldson.
Threaded the needle there. Renew picked up his second foul to put Lee at the line. Xavier Lee, the senior from Toronto. Usually a good foul shooter at 83%. It's a big step up, of course, from Princeton.
Yeah, with that 6'4" frame, with that size, I think he can adjust. The more that shot starts to go in, he has a great feel for the game, though, and he is an elite passer.
So the Gators by 9. Miami with the basketball. And that's going to be picked up by Lee, and a whistle here. He tried to scoot away with it after the turnover. And he got knocked to the floor. 18:29 to go in this contest. Shelton Henderson will pick up his 4th foul for Miami. So the freshman off to the bench. And Dante Allen, also a freshman, replaces him.
Okay, you talk about the adjustment coming from the Ivy League, even though you talk about a unanimous first-team All-Ivy League, each of the last 2 seasons averaging 17 points and shooting 35% from the three-point line. But the size, the athleticism, and the quickness of the feet is a major adjustment for any player coming up to this level of basketball.
And a great look, in and out. And a foul to go against Florida. Shooting over the back, that's going to be number 3 on the big guy.
You think Walter Clayton Jr. adapted to the speed of the game over time?
Rather well, I would say. Rather exceptionally well.
Exactly.
Downstairs they go, but can't convert it on the lean-in by Renew. He's had a very solid game. Found to dribble down and finishes that. Boy, he's going to be a handful again.
Such a great job running from end to end, like a gazelle.
17 points, Washington. Yes, he sticks the 3. Hotly contested.
Miami's got to start making shots from the outside, you know, to extend those bigs. They haven't done so, and the bigs just keep dropping back.
And a little step back, nice. Going around the back, little flare there. On a Boogie Fland.
He's going to be critical to this offense.
And off for Allen. Lee came up to pick him up. 44-34. Florida led by 10 at the break. On the drive, Washington with the kick. Allen sticks it from three-point land. It was Dante Allen, a consensus 4-star recruit out of Miami. Nothing but new faces for the Hurricanes. Completely reworked this entire roster. Got a free tough pass. He can't hit it. It's going to be tipped out and stay on this end.
Miami doing a better job of staying in those gaps defensively and forcing guys like Lee and Flan to shoot from the perimeter, not giving up shots at the rim, which is what Hawk and what Ching Yulu and what, you know, these guys, Condon, they want to have more attempts at the rim, and they're starting to knock down their shots on the opposite side.
So the Gators will inbound. Very early time to be taking it. He might be experimenting to see how Miami handles these early in the season. But very early to take that because now he's without a challenge the rest of the way.
Yeah, interesting timing on Jay Lucas's part. I probably would have saved it for later in the game if this one got a little closer.
Shot clock down to 4. Flan way downtown, no. Rebound tipped and controlled by Miami. Donaldson to push it. And the layup and in. Well-run break. Washington for 2. And Miami's hanging in there.
Miami's made a couple of threes. And then they're getting points. They're getting defensive rebounding. The guards are bringing down. They are out and they are running.
The run and a layup by Donaldson. And the Hurricanes cut it to 3, and that forces a Florida timeout.
Going up to work and being disciplined. I lost my mom 2.5 years ago, so it's been heavy on me. But the last text message my dad ever sent me was right before he passed. He said, "Good morning, son. Sending you love and the quiet strength and resilience that is your birthright." So that's what we're doing here today to honor him. And thank you for giving me the space to do so, Obi.
It was beautiful. Long one and knocked down by Clabjar, the 6'1" junior. As Florida responds, that ends a 7-0 run by Miami.
Good swing.
Washington, the open man. Got a very good look and a second chance. Allen again. Too strong. Tipped out. Lee across midcourt. The feed. Tough catch on the line. It's going to be a turnover. Chinyelu could not stay in bounds. Florida by 6. And the defending national champs trying for their 3rd win of the year, getting a tough test here from Miami.
Well, similar to Florida State, OB. Florida State threw a lot at Florida, got them off on their heels a little bit, forced them to turn the ball over. Different styles of basketball. But Miami getting defensive rebounds, taking high-quality shots. And that's been a key to this run.
Second effort won't go by Uday. Clabjar again. On tip, that won't drop in by Condon. Donaldson and a foul by Lee.
Well, I was shocked there that Hulk did not get back to protect the rim. And we should see that again on the replay. When he was going towards him and then he faded up. He took his foot off the gas, and once he took his foot off the gas, Donaldson recognized that and chose to attack the thinner Xavier Lee there. It's the right move.
So Trey Donaldson at the line with the high school in Tallahassee, so returning to his home state. Wednesday night, SEC Network, all about college basketball. On the women's side, number 2 South Carolina and Winthrop at 7. Then in men's action at 9, number 22 Auburn and Jackson State. Both games on SEC Network and the ESPN app.
Miami now 4 of 10 from the free throw line. Those are the things that haunt you as a coach when the game gets tight down the stretch.
Leon Allen swings the pass. Common way underneath, but converts anyway. He's made all manner of shots here in this contest. Certainly playing like a preseason All-American for the Gators. Washington lost the dribble, got it back, got the foul too. He's at the line.
Well, you like what Jay Lucas is doing, going with a smaller lineup, 4 guards out, Uday in. It opens up spacing on the floor to attack the bigs of Florida off those ball screens. And what a great step through there by Washington.
Rock with his first personal foul. 14-18 to go here in Jacksonville. And Washington getting to the line. Chinyelu, the 6'10" junior, back on for Todd Golden. Todd Golden was a tremendous foul shooter at St. Mary's. For a while, he was their all-time percentage leader. Washington connects. 3-point play. Salih Altuntas, the 6'10" freshman from Turkey, back on for Miami.
And this is what you want to see Miami do. With a guy like True Howell, Washington, with the way he played when he was at New Mexico defensively, you talk about a guy, nasty defender at the point of attack, getting up, creating some pressure, forcing Florida to play a little bit faster than what they're comfortable.
Condon on a high look. Clabjar back into the paint. Weaving inside. Chinyelu with 2.
Renew got there just a tad bit too late. If he had rotated over sooner, he would have gotten an offensive foul. Speaking of offensive foul.
No whistle. Renew may have gotten away with 1, and there is a whistle. Foul will take it the other way, and that'll go against Renew, number 3 for the senior.
I see Florida off this high PNR action right there. A great show, but Renew just a little bit late there to rotate from the weak side, and Chinyelu with a strong finish.
Something Arizona had success with in the first game of the year against Florida.
And they also had a guy named Koa Pete.
Yes, they did.
Pretty damn good.
I failed to mention that. Oh, beautiful move by Chinyelu. Starting to get going into the offensive fray now for the Gators. And Miami seeing that. Well, what was your assist total, by the way?
I averaged 6.7 assists a game. I mean, I did okay over it.
We're going to round that to 7 a game. That ain't too shabby.
But to JB's point, when we talk about that type of stuff, I do think at times there's a tendency for Florida to settle on outside jumpers instead of recognizing that their strength is to pound the ball in the paint.
Shot clock inside 10. Washington mid-range sticks it. To Washington, the junior was all Mountain West. Honorable mention. He'll go against Altuntas, his first. There's no question Miami has picked up talent. Jay Lucas scouring the country and bringing an entirely new team to Miami. Not a necessity after 24 losses last year.
And also in the manner in which he was able to pick these guys up, OB. I mean, just with such a shortened amount of time, leaving Duke before the postseason started to get Trey Donaldson, to get Malik Renew, to get Uday Jr. in the portal, goes to show you the recruiting ability of Jay Lucas. Nobody questions the basketball X's and O's. He's brilliant at that. And nobody should also question his ability to recruit. Miami is going to be a powerhouse in the ACC, and that's going to be because of this young coach right here.
By the way, several guys on his team do drop-dead impressions of him already.
They're pretty good.
They are pretty good. And some of them are really good. If we get an opportunity, we're going to show you one or two. Inbounds, and Brown up high for that. Condon on the dribble. Bland will set it up.
Swing it.
Condon asking for the ball, and he'll draw the foul.
I mean, the bigs between Condon and Chinyelu are just fighting for position every possession. And that's compounding wear and tear on the bigs for Miami. It just breaks you down over time. 6th
team foul for Miami. Lewis with the personal and another one. So 1-and-1 time. 12:29 to go. A lot of time to go here in this contest. That'll go on Donaldson as first.
By the way, that was like a wide receiver catching that pass right there by Isaiah Brown. I'll have to teach you to go up and catch that thing with 2 hands. That is a strong catch.
Big guard, 6'4", from Orlando. He's at the line. Left-hander, and drains the first one. Gators trying to hang Miami with their first loss of the young season. Hurricanes 3-0. Gators at 2-1. He gets the pair. Hauk is back on. And Condon will come off now for Todd Golden. (55-47) the Gators. Renew seeking contact, can't lay it in. Gives Florida an opportunity to run. Bland will push it. Tough angle blocked. Trying to save it there on the baseline, but can't do it. So back over to Miami.
The defensive discipline by Florida is more and more impressive. Chinyelu staying on the left hand of Malik Renew. Something they focused on today in scouting report, that it doesn't matter how deep Renew gets you, he's going to come back to that left hand. And Chinyelu making the job very difficult for how talented Renew is offensively.
Shot clock down to 9. Renew gets it back. Donaldson will pull up and pop off the front iron. Rebound tipped right back to him. And a new shot clock. The kick out. Renew from the corner. Too strong. Another big rebound by Miami inside Uday. He'll draw the foul with 11.5 minutes to go in Jacksonville, Florida.
Softer approach. And he can get fired up, but for the most part, he is an elite players coach, and his ability to communicate is one of his special talents.
Well, his team is hanging in against the number 10 team in the country so far. Year number 1 for Jay Lucas. After several years as an assistant at Duke, trying to rebuild a program, once very proud program. Very recently, that was the case in Miami. Having trouble making foul shots, though. On the drive, airborne land, and that hangs on the iron but rolls off. Tantalizing up on that rim, but he takes the hit.
You know, think about the maturation for Boogie Flam last year, missing time due to injury when he was at Arkansas, then coming back and playing, and now filling in a new role here at Florida. But offensively, he's talented. You know, Seth Greenberg often said that he had a little bit of Kyrie Irving in his game. And to people at home, we're not saying that Boogie Flam is Kyrie Irving, right? But sometimes there are certain attributes or styles in which they showcase that remind you of certain players. And he does have an uncanny ability and a smoothness to get to certain spots on the floor and elite shot-making ability.
About 14 a game last year at Arkansas. Now playing for the reigning champs as they try to repeat. Allen over the top, and a whistle with 11:09 to go. And a foul will go against Condon. That's 3 on him.
I love it now with the challenge. College players like NBA players, you know, everything that they want to contest is just like, oh, challenge it, challenge it. They throw their hand up in the air. Todd Golden like, oh, just take your time, Boogie. We have a long game here, okay?
So this will be an inbounds. And Miami to put it in. Renew up against Condon, just lost it and turned it over.
Todd Golden's looking at Boogie Flam saying, see, that's why we didn't challenge it.
You, by the way, at the big first half, 0 for 3 shooting, 2 turnovers in the second half. Hasn't quite been the same man yet. Jar likes to shoot it and drains it. You know, he had only been 3 for 14 beyond the three-point line coming into play tonight. But he's 3 for 4 in this one. He's giving him a nice lift off the bench.
The Slovenians can shoot it.
Off the iron, tipped and controlled by Jar. The quick dribble gives it up to Boogie Flam. He'll set it up now for the Gators. They're trying to break away again. Jumper won't fall. Out with a miss from the wing. On the run, Renew with the left hand for 2. Beat everyone to the other end.
Great job by Allen catching that pass and having his head up for an outlet pass quickly.
Condon with a high post. Jar again. This time, and another whistle. Just under 10 minutes to go. Gators had a 10-point lead at halftime. That's going to be number 4, though, on Alex Condon. So the big guy been in trouble tonight, really from the opening minutes. He and Chinilu both with 4 fouls. So the front court in trouble. Chinilu will replace him. As Condon will step out, averaging 16 points, 8 rebounds a game. And obviously a huge part of the national champs last year. So Miami trying to make another run. This has been the pattern of the game. Just when it looks like the Gators are going to break away, Miami hits a couple of big shots. And Renew's been a guy to do it tonight. Tips his own miss. Tips again. That won't go. Rebound batted around. And it'll stay right here.
Now Miami being the one getting a ton of offensive rebounds and having active hands. Being quick to that second jump.
Henderson to get it in. Out of the double, back to Henderson. Kicks out Washington. To the paint. Back out Renew. And can't drain it. Can't say Miami didn't have opportunities. Brown from the corner can't hit. And a foul foul on the floor against Miami.
Washington and Uday Jr. were doing everything to keep Chinyalu out of the paint. That is a Herculean effort for a guy who has the size and the frame.
Number 2 on Uday. Chinyalu at the line. Cannot hit, and Uday with the rebound. Miami trying to get back inside 10 again. Washington over the top, can't convert it. Trying to connect with Uday for a big slam. Out on the drive, tucked it, laid it up and in. You get continuation this year. That's brand new. That's going to be allowed, and a big basket there as he looks for a three-point play.
That's what NBA scouts like about Hawk right there, his ability to put the ball on the ground, play through contact, and finish at the rim. He gets low to the ground, he dips that left shoulder, absorbs the contact, and finishes. What a move.
Player with the ball is fouled after the dribble is ended, believed to be attempting a shot, may complete a pivot or a step in order to complete the shooting motion. So that's a point of emphasis this year in college basketball, getting closer to NBA kind of rules. 62-49. Under 9 minutes. Largest lead in this one. Donaldson. Tied up Lee with the foul, and he'll pick up his second. Coming up, men's basketball, the State Farm Champions Classic. Michigan State and Kentucky. And the State Farm Champions Classic, number 25 Kansas and number 4 Duke, should be a dandy on Tuesday.
And we'll be there for game day at the Garden. JB and Dan Shulman been calling the games. I mean, and think about the coaching lineup we have right there between Mark Pope and Tom Izzo and Bill Self and John Shire, and the talented players we're going to have at the Garden. A place now that is no longer dormant, considering the Knicks are at the top of the East.
It's going to be a blast.
Basketball mecca.
Meanwhile, Miami just 6 for 16 at the foul line. And the Gators leading at 62-50 with the basketball. Lajar backing away. Shot clock at 7. On the drive and the dish and the deuce.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about Boogie Flan or about Xavier Lee. Glabzar has been great knocking down shots from the outside, but also getting into those gaps and making those little drop passes in a place where the ball goes right to the big's hands.
So now the Gators opening it up 14. Chinyalu with a double-double for Florida. Step back, Hauk, and hits it. And a three-pointer makes it a 17-point lead. The 14-3 run for Florida. Miami trying to answer way downtown and knocked down by Allen. Marcus Allen, the Missouri transfer. We'll quiet the crowd a little bit, but 14-3 that run for Florida. Lee to drive and draws the foul.
Who he's been able to replenish and play a different style of basketball, guard-oriented. And this is the real first test for Miami. So, I think Miami has a ton of room for improvement. This game is by no means over. But they also get another battle coming up against BYU on Thanksgiving Day and ESPN. Their events at the Walt Disney World Resort against A.J. DeBonson, which would be a game. Did you see him the other day against UConn?
Yes. Tremendous. And spectacular.
Now, he is a baby Tracy McGrady. He plays that style of basketball.
Gators, conversely, as you mentioned already, a battle with Arizona. They lost that one, but they've got Duke and UConn coming up. They'll be playing those two within a week of each other. Off the fake, Washington. Left that one well short. Chinyulu's having a big one. 14 points, 11 rebounds. Back-to-back double-doubles for the first time in his career. Claude came off his hand in good shape. Another rebound by Chinyulu. On the back down. And got it. Not many are going to stop that.
The relentless pursuit of the basketball on the offensive glass is a differentiator for Florida each and every night. And so you can't teach size. You also can't teach effort. And Florida has both.
So the Gators up 71-53. That'll go the other way. An offensive foul. Chinyulu will plead his case.
And just the composure he has down low on the block to recognize Allen digging in from that weak side to turn over that shoulder. And just starting to see a better offensive package by Chinyulu, something he's worked on this entire offseason.
He's fouled out, but had a terrific game.
A little double-double.
As mentioned, 2 in a row for him. And he will hit the bench with 6 minutes to go.
And not that you ever want Chinyulu to foul out, but what a great benefit for Todd Golden to have the depth of the bigs he has on that front line where they go 4 to 5 deep.
I think a lot of college basketball fans who watched them on a magical run to a national championship and watch their guards really dominate might be surprised. This is a different looking Florida team. We're going to do it in the front court. Allen with the dish and Renew with 2. He had a big first half, but Gators have kind of locked him up at times in the second half. He's 8 for 23 shooting it.
Well, a lot of shots are out the rim over the trees.
Renew with the foul. Looking to prevent that dunk by Houck. He was going up there to slam that one home. That'll be 4 on Malik Renew.
You still like that by Malik Renew? Nothing easy. You want Houck to earn it at the free throw line. It's a strong foul. I think a lot of it comes down to the battle of the bigs, like we said earlier in the game. And just, Miami doesn't have the depth at the big position, whereas Florida rolls in with 4 to 5, and they just wear you down over time.
You've done that tonight. Another big at the line, the 6'9" junior out of New Oxford, Pennsylvania. 73-55, Florida. Allen gives it up for Henderson. He takes the paint, pulls up, left it well short. A fight underneath and another whistle with 5:11 to go. So that one will go against Condon, and that's 5 on Alex Condon. He fouls out with 19 points. He picked up 2, Jay Will, very quickly in the game and did a nice job hanging in there. Spent a lot of time on the bench after that, obviously, but came back and made an impact in this game.
Yeah, I thought the first 2 fouls were tic-tac fouls. One was like a hand-checking foul. The other one was just a contest at the rim. Yeah, but for the most part, he's been exceptional. And, initially he took shots from the outside, and he made a couple. There's a proclivity for him to be a little bit content from the outside, but something that they readjusted in the second half. Just did a dominant job down low on the block, attacking, getting to the free throw line, and just showing his physical ability to impose his will on opponents. There's no doubt Alex Condon is a special player in the game of basketball.
19-7 tonight, 15 points in the second half. Went through the NBA draft process back in May. And then his Instagram said, Gator Nation, I'm back. And are they delighted he made that call? Renew at the line.
What a luxury of jewels that Todd Golden has between Thomas Houck. We talk about Chingyulu and the way he plays his sides, and then having Alex Condon come back with all of his preseason accolades.
Hand logged in another guy who can help you up the bench at 7-1. Houck with 16 and 5 for Florida, so that front court that you have described as the best in the country has lived up to that billing.
OB, imagine if they ever get Olivier Rio on the court, who's 7'9" from Quebec.
Just 7'9".
It's a great guy to have just there in case you need a 7'9" player off the bench.
Coming off the bus. It's a good look. Dante Allen with his second foul. So 5:06 remaining. It'll put Boogie Fland at the line. Boogie hitting a couple of big ones against FSU this week with 16 seconds to go in a very tight game against the Seminoles, which they won by 2. And they'll drop that in.
You know, in order to get to the top of the SEC, which is, I know it's not what it was last year, but it's still going to be a gauntlet. You know what you're going to get each and every night from your front court. But there's this backcourt, there's still a ton of room for improvement, and the ceiling is high. Boogie Fland has the opportunity to be an elite scorer. Xavier Lee is a guy that can control the tempo of the game. He is a good shooter. That shot will come around. And then Glavsar just has, he's a playmaker. He understands how to play. So the maturation of those 3 guards, there's only room for improvement for this team to get back to where they were last year.
So 75-57. Florida looking very comfortable under 4 minutes to go. Henderson getting inside. It won't roll down, but he'll head to the line. A foul on Lee. Tugby Henderson shooting.
Talent for Jay Lucas. I mean, Shelton Henderson is just an absolute dog on the wing. He's physically gifted, quick first step. As that jumper improves more and more, he is going to be an elite player in the ACC. Won a gold medal with USA Basketball at the FIBA U18 America Cup.
Henderson, and he'll connect on that. Timo Milovic, the 6'8" freshman from Slovakia, back on. A good shooter for Jay Lucas. Lee to drive it and dish. Mikic underneath. We get a second chance here. Shar with a fall away, short. Under 4.5 left. Been a big contingent of Gator fans here tonight in Jacksonville. It turned out we got a pretty good crowd here for a game that started, Jay, at 8:30 on a Sunday night.
Also a game that you come down to Florida and we're here wearing sweaters. I mean, what is going on? I don't understand this, OB. We came down for the sunshine and we're playing basketball on an ice rink.
And it is beautiful outside. It's gorgeous. Been in the 70s today in sunshine. But when you come inside, because we are right over a hockey arena, it feels like it's about 28 degrees. Jaguars with a big win today. Right across the street.
Did their thing.
Renew to the line. Sports Center coming up right after this one is finished. All the NFL highlights. A closer look at the Jags win. Among many others today, Renew with another one coming. So 75-61. Swings it. Fland will fire. An area shooting the ball from distance, where the Gators have done better work tonight than they had in their first 3 games. And they anticipated they would.
Well, the bigs have made most of the threes, with the exception of Klabsar has made 2. But still, Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee haven't really been able to find it from the outside.
Victor Mikic at the line. And we'll have another one coming. And Todd Golden will hustle Isaiah Brown in, the 6'4" sophomore from Orlando. And Lee will hit the bench. It'll be interesting to see as the games roll by, particularly when they get into the really gritty part of the schedule, which is not that far away for Florida, with Duke and UConn coming up. Just how deep Todd Golden elects to go.
Well, Florida also has a big-time game at Cameron Indoor Stadium coming up against Cameron Bruiser and company. They talk about a battle of the bigs. He is a special talent.
It sure is. Henderson seeking out the contact, whipped down by Howard. Florida sitting pretty here, up by 14. They led by 10 at the break over Miami.
LOB, just think about how special Todd Golden is as a coach. Became the youngest head coach at 39 to win a national championship since Jimmy V in 1983.
Collision and a whistle here, and then signed a 6-year, $40 million contract for 51 points and 25 rebounds for the Gators.
And it was an impressive night, but it was more so, Obi, I thought, because of their activity and their energy and their ability to grab the 50-50 balls. You know, it's a relentless pursuit on the offensive glass, but then also how active they are defensively. It's literally like a swarm of tree branches at the rim. And every time Miami found themselves trying to attack the rim, they were met with force from multiple angles.
Yeah, Miami cut the deficit to 6 with about 13 minutes to go. Then the Gators went on another run, 14-3. That was the pattern from the early minutes of the game. Whenever it looked like Miami was going to kind of stick their nose back in it.
And when you're going against a sizable front court like that, I made mention of it multiple times in the first half, stopping on the dime, pulling up for a little mid-range jumper, it opens up the floor a little bit to continue to extend to pull those bigs away. If you keep trying to meet them at the rim, they're too long, they're too active, they're going to block out the sun.
Florida on the verge of posting wins over both Miami and Florida State for the first time in the same season in 20 years.
You know, Obi, I learned that lesson my 4th game in the NBA. I came down the paint. I tried to attack Kevin Garnett. Next thing I know, I was on my back. And the replay showed that he just grabbed the ball from my hands in the midair and just kicked it out for an outlet pass. And I was like, I should probably learn how to shoot a floater. Probably be helpful.
Was he almost 7 feet?
Oh, yeah, and he talked every ounce of it.
He got it away.
We love you, KG. You're the best, man.
Kick out for Brown. Brown with a leaner. And a whistle with 2:43 to go. Now let's see the officials getting together on this one. And that'll go the other way. That'll be Miami ball. One of the few things the Gator fans could howl about tonight.
Boogie Flan still, the Draymond Green, he's still saying run it back. It should have been their ball. I love it. Still valuing possessions even though they're up 15.
Through Washington on the attack. Stepping inside and draws a foul. There have been plenty of those tonight. Victor Mikic with the personal. Give you a look at the Miami upcoming schedule now. Thursday, Elon, and we'll get that BYU game that'll be on ESPN on November 27th.
We got a chance to watch BYU play against UConn. Really impressive what they've been able to accomplish. AJ DeBonsa, special player. I still think they need to find ways to assist other players outside of AJ DeBonsa. They only had 7 assists in that game. The experience of UConn definitely showed down the stretch.
Washington 82% at the line and connects. Xavier Lee back on now for the Gators.
Think about the ACC this year between Miami and Jay Lucas trying to rejuvenate this franchise. What Pat Kelsey was able to do last year at Louisville. They have extreme talent. Duke, obviously, with John Shire and Cameron Boozer and company. North Carolina with Caleb Wilson, who I think is actually probably the most underrated freshman in the country.
Way downtown, and Clydesdale's had himself a night. He's been outstanding.
Todd Golden is feeling it. He is excited. Those guards making shots from the outside takes his Florida team to a new dimension, and he knows it.
Slovenia. He has been a big part of the offense tonight.
Like I said earlier, has a great feel on the court, also provides spacing with his three-point shooting, and a lot of this is confidence. We heard Todd Golden talk earlier today in shoot-around about confidence, something that was not lacking with last year's trio of guards. Even a guy like Denzel Aberdeen off the bench, they all had that confidence, and you can't really teach it. He's trying to inspire it, and a guy like Clydesdale is able to knock down shots, and you want that to be infectious on the other perimeter players for Florida.
Yeah, Urbon with 15. 4 for 7 from three-point land. So for the Gators coming up, and quite a gauntlet pretty soon, as they'll be at Duke on December 2nd at ESPN, and then playing UConn on December 9th. Of course, you've got that tremendous schedule inside the SEC as well. Donaldson can't connect. And another foul against Renew this time. So he's fouled out. That's number 5. Minute 51 to play. Fouls out with 22 points in the first half. When they were hanging around and pressing the Gators in particular, he was the man for them.
You know, something you don't hear often on broadcast, but I think we should do it more, OB, for when it warrants. I think these refs tonight have done a great job officiating this game. They allowed the game to be physical in the first half. You had to play through contact. Obviously, they started to tighten up a little bit in the second half, but I like when there's consistency between halves and the way refs are able to communicate that to the players and to the coaching staffs. This job has done an amazing job this year.
Maybe Todd Golden is not necessarily concurring right now, but James Breeding and A.J. Desai and Byron Jarrett, tonight's officials, done a really good job. As Haug misses at the line.
Well, just as a former player, I'm big on letting the players decide the game. And if you call it one way in the first half, then be consistent with that in the second half,
yes,
which they have been.
They have.
Because now I know how I need to play the game, how you're allowing me to play. And I think that consistency is imperative.
Occasionally you'll see, a switch in that style after the break, and you wonder why that's the case. Tough drive. It's going to be batted up by Florida. So Donaldson with a help up, 17-point lead for Florida. And so Jay Lucas about to taste his first loss as a head coach, and against a state rival, but against the team that won it all last spring. So as you pointed out, his first serious test on the schedule. Lee weaving his way in, drops in 2.
First serious test for Miami neutral site. Talking to Jay Lucas earlier today, felt it was important for us to get confidence in those first 3 games. Similar to how Florida was last year. They didn't really get challenged until mid-December. Whereas alternatively this year, Todd Golden, they really wanted to challenge themselves with a strong non-conference schedule to start the season.
Yeah, Todd Golden was talking about that. He said it really wasn't until, as you said, mid-December in Charlotte against North Carolina where they really felt, as that one will drop down with 56.7 on the clock, they really felt like that was one they needed to have at that point. This year they're going to get a lot of them right off the bat, and already have.
And you called that game last year, didn't you?
That was a great basketball game. A wild swing between Carolina and Florida. And the Gators were effectively playing, at North Carolina with all the support the Tar Heels had in Charlotte. So doubly so a stiff test. And they won that game, and he felt it was a major factor in their development as eventual national champs.
Those are those games we always recognize as a player, the quote-unquote neutral site games that were really, truly away games.
So the last 40 seconds here in Jacksonville, and it'll be a big Gators victory, 82-66, as Lee will launch. And the Gators cruising here in the end, but they were tested early and in the first half. On the drive, laid up and in by Donaldson. With 20 seconds to go.
Well, Florida has a lot to be proud of. Their bigs were absolutely fantastic this evening. Clavsar and company started making shots from the outside. The ceiling is high for the Florida Gators in pursuit of a national championship. You see what I did there, OB? Not a repeated national championship, but a national championship. And I think the ceiling is also good for Jay Lucas's team as well.